What is technical debt? And as a Scrum Master, how do you help your team to manage technical debt? Hello, welcome to the Scrum chat room with Dr. Francis Mbunya. And if you're new to this channel, click the subscribe button. And if you're returning to this channel, I want to say thank you for actually watching and sharing, and thank you for dropping those questions. And if you've been following me, you will know that if you actually drop your question, we take time to answer it or to do it in another video. And for those who are in the Scrum Master journey and you want to be with my team, you want me to coach you, you can feel free to send me a text. And if you want to get certified, you're looking into getting a Scrum, we also have a session for that. But we just want to go straight to the question and look at how we can make it straight and simple, right? Technical debt. Now, what is technical debt? Technical debt. What is technical debt? All right, technical debt is a term that is used in software development, and it simply means that you're building something. Let's say that you want to build a website, right? And normally that website is supposed to take you 10 days, and then you come and say okay, and then but the owner of the website say I don't want you to use 10 days, I want you to use it 3 days. Now there's a way you can rush over that website and still deliver within 3 days, but it's going to be there's certain stuff or security issues which you might breach, right? So the website will be functional, but there's some kind of lack of quality in the process. So that gap between what should be and what you have is called technical debt. Okay, let me try to kind of get it in a different format. Maybe it can be more understandable from that aspect. All right, working with a Scrum team, for instance, technical debt happens when your team have a certain number of stories that they want to develop, right? And most often during the last day of closing the sprint, they realize that they are running behind the schedule, and they try to wrap out everything fast. They use a shortcut in order to make sure that they complete their work. Now the stories will be showing completed, but when you get to the review state, now they realize that maybe some of the functions are not working, there are some bugs that are in there, and then they send it back to the team to rework on it. So the rework is called technical debt because this is work that has been planned and has been considered done, and it's sent back to you to correct some technicalities there. So the technical debt, it's work that is normally supposed to have been finished, but due to some technicality mistakes that happen, it is sent back. If we want to take it to the more of a vendor where it's going to be more like a car that is released in the market, has some fault, then recall, and there's a recall. So the cost of that recall is what they call the technical debt. So in software development, or in the most Scrum Masters, most of the Scrum environment is in managing softwares, is in building applications. Technical debt happens when most often, and in most of the teams it happens, not only in some teams. Most developer we have the tendency of doing things at the last minute, so they rush over the work, and because they rush over the work, there's some certain maybe code, or there's some certain security that they might not really pay so much attention, so the built-in quality is compromised. So it might pass the QA, it might pass the acceptance criteria, but when they actually get into the market and they start using, they realize there's some gaps in there, and then they send it back. So that's technical debt. Now, how do you help your team manage technical debt? That is the question that you're going to get in most of your interview. Number one, in managing technical debt, the first thing you kind of help your team to be able to make sure that they're handling most of their story on time and not leaving them up to the last part of the sprint, not leaving them up to the last day of the sprint, because now they get overwhelmed and they rush over stuff, and that's the main cause of technical debt. The second cause of technical debt, it's if the team overcommit or the stakeholder is pushing the team to take on a lot and the team want to meet up with the demand of the stakeholder, they are definitely going to compromise on the quality. Now, when the team is focusing on the velocity rather than a built-in quality, they want to make sure that, oh, let's up the velocity, let's do more, and they're not focusing on the built-in quality. Now we have an issue of technical debt, which is going to cost the organization more. And this is one of the challenge when you have stakeholders that is pushing your team to say, oh, you need to take your team to take on more. You need to be able to coach them to understand that, yes, it's possible to coach my team to take on more. But the challenge is that we might get into a lot of technical debt. Just imagine we release the increment to the customer and the customer start using it and realize it's not working well. So it's going to strain the relationship, the business relationship between the customer and the provider. And it's not good reputation for the company. So always coach your stakeholders on what are some of the limitations or what are some of the implications of putting so much work to the developer. One of your goals as a Scrum Master to be able to protect your team. So when they talk about protecting your team, it's about protecting their interests. Protecting their interests is because you understand the Agile principle. You understand what kind of pushing work to the developer does, because it puts them under tension. They cannot really perform well. Your goal is to create a conducive environment for your team to work well. And if you can do that, you'll be able to manage technical debt. Secondly, you can also manage technical debt by making sure that the stories are kind of break down into really small slices. In that case, we can easily build and test a story within a short cycle of time. So now also monitoring your Jira board or your Scrum board. I'll just say Scrum board because not all the team uses Jira, right? The other teams that doesn't use Jira. Scrum is not revolved around Jira. It's resolved also around other software like Rally, Zoho Project, Azure DevOps. You can use that. But then you want to look at the progress of your team. Performance is one of the ways you use to managing technical debt. Make sure that your team is actually moving the stories, not waiting to the last day before rushing over every ticket they might have. Right, that is how you manage technical debt. Now, coming week, I'm going to be doing more videos this week because a lot of questions have been coming on the text, and the goal is to be able to help you actually understand what it takes to address some of those challenging questions. But if you always hear me say, Scrum is not really difficult, right? It's about building your confidence, about knowing some of this technicality word. It's about understanding how to be able to explain it in a way that you're not really kind of feeling you should be a superhero, right? I kind of also spend time to discuss how you should address most of your questions. Most often, you can use based on my experience, because every Scrum environment is different. But different in a way that you might explain it slightly different if you understand the basic concept. But if you don't understand nothing, there is nothing you can answer right. Your confidence is going to be down. And then you kind of feel like, oh, the Scrum journey is not for me. It can be for everybody. Your whole life has been Scrum all itself. You practicing Scrum is just looking at how you can make it a reality, right? All right. Don't go without hitting the like button, without subscribing. And then I'm going to drop my number. If you want to reach out to me for help, reach out to me. You can find out the modality on how to join my coaching program. If you're not yet certified, you want to get certified, it's a big plus for you, because we handle most of the practical stuff while even teaching you how to get certified, what you should know, what you should not know before moving you to the interview stage. Do have a great day and see you. Do have a great day and see you in the next video.